Okay, we will be starting very soon.
Hi guys, Anna Brandt here. We're back with Ask Me Anything. We had aimed to do this every 2 weeks, but we're a little off. Alex was a little under the weather last week, so we moved it a little bit. He didn't have COVID, so that's good. And Ask Me Anything is something that we committed to doing in 2021 to just answer the questions that I receive every single day from around the world. And so this is our third edition of Ask Me Anything, and we're going to try to do it at least once or twice a month for the next year and try to answer your questions. So, one of the first questions was I released these flower bowls today. So, if you're watching on YouTube, right now this is streaming on YouTube and in my photographers group. So if you're watching on YouTube, I think my YouTube channel now is 54 million views. Isn't that crazy? My goal is to get to 200,000 subscribers. I don't know how many subscribers we have right now, but I think we have 180 or something. So hopefully this year we can get to 200,000 subscribers. But I think that 54 million views is crazy. I don't even know who's watching. So if you're on YouTube, I have a store, bellybabywear.com. The other place this is streaming is in our photographers group where we have over 30,000 photographers in there in the Anna Brandt photographers group. Hey, hey. So this morning, or this afternoon, we released flower bowls, a new prop we're very excited about. And I know one of the questions just came in a second ago asking if I have in-use images yet. No, because I just opened the box. But I'll be shooting all weekend. I have 4 babies this weekend, so I'll use the bowls this weekend. And if you follow me on Instagram or in Belly Baby Wear or in our store, I'll update with images. And so, yeah, so we actually are also releasing some new footed baby rompers because it's cold. I'm wearing a turtleneck and a sweater, and it's cold, and all these little tiny baby feet are so cold. So I asked my seamstresses the other day, can we make some footed baby rompers because I felt like I had nothing in my closet. So they made 5 or 6 newborn girl that we're putting in our store today, and then we're adding, I think, another 6 boy. So we have new products coming in all the time. I think I have 6 new maternity designs coming. And honestly, I do it mainly because I get bored of what's in my closet. That's really why. That's really why. And so we have a full staff that runs our clothing line and we ship all over the world. That's also another question I get. Do you ship to name a country and how much is it? I have no idea how much it is. Just put it in your cart, put in your address, and you'll be able to see how much the shipping is. We do ship worldwide, although it's been very, very challenging this year just shipping domestic with Texas. Texas, we're praying for you. Texas got hit hard with the weather and electricity and the accidents on the highway and halted a bunch of shipments, actually. We had shipments that went MIA because some of the FedEx planes were having issues, and it's a whole lot of things I don't want to bore you with. But basically, some of our packages that were on a FedEx plane got held off for other FedEx packages. So just between COVID and weather, it's winter, things will get delayed. So I'm one of those people, when I shop online, I shop and forget about it. That's my best advice I can give anyone. When you're buying anything, we're all excited, and I think we're spoiled by Amazon Prime. But even Amazon Prime doesn't always come the next day. So my advice for this year is to just be patient when you're shopping online. Forget about it. So then when it arrives, it's a happy surprise. That way you're not so anxious. That's what I do. I order stuff almost every single day, and I just forget about it. And I order from around the world. And then when it comes, I'm like, oh, it's like Christmas every single day. So, all right, Alex, what was one of the questions that came in?
Are we doing the online ones or the ones you gave me already?
Whichever.
Okay,
Whichever.
we'll start with one of the ones that you emailed me.
Okay.
And the first one is, how do you deal with clients that are monitoring the baby while the shooting too much? That doesn't make sense. They
Maybe.
just want to help but are disturbing the workflow.
Like they're hovering or too close. And it's actually a very popular question. It doesn't really bother me. I think that if they're too much in the way, and I've had every situation known to man. I actually have had to tell clients, I need you to step back so I can take the picture, because they're like this with the phone, or they're too close to me, or I have no room to take the photo. So I try to be as polite as I humanly possibly can. But if I feel like, I usually get this on location, actually, where I'll be taking pictures, and if there's extended family, they're like in my way of trying to take photos, and I'll be like, hold on, I need to just get the photo. Or the parents are trying to take photos, and I'll say, that's why you have me. I'm taking the photos, so you can just put your phone down and relax. But with a newborn, people ask me, how do you deal with hovering parents, or parents that are close by, or parents that won't sit down, or parents that are trying to help you? I don't have that problem as much as I used to. I think I had that problem when I didn't have a regular assistant. And so if you don't have a regular assistant, you may have that problem, because you probably look like a three-ring circus, and you probably look like you need help, to be honest with you. Because I've watched people that don't have assistants do newborn sessions, and it's all I could do to not want to help them, because you're trying to manage the baby, take a picture, get your camera, change your settings. And so if you're by yourself and you don't have an assistant, and you're a parent watching this, you would want to jump in too, wouldn't you? Like, I think that in all of these situations, you have to put yourself in the parent's situation and think, is the parent in my space because why? Is it that they're anxious to see the photos? Is that maybe I look like I'm not being so competent and they think I need help? Is it that they're worried about their baby safety and that they want to watch what I'm doing? Always ask yourself all of these questions. So for me personally, I think it's definitely excitement, because I have a full-time assistant that helps me with all my baby sessions. So I think it's excitement. They want to see. And, I'm in my studio now, and we have 2 sofas and 4 chairs, and we tell the parents they can come sit right next to me. They can make themselves comfortable. Many parents fall asleep because they're so tired. That's always the best compliment, right? It means they're really trusting you. But if the parent's like standing up and watching what I'm doing and looking, I'm completely okay with that, because honestly, I want them to see what I'm doing, and I want them to see that I'm being careful. And if something were to happen to the baby, or what if the baby stopped breathing, or the baby had an allergic reaction, or, babies are so little and things can go wrong, and you just don't even know that they may have a health issue. I would want that parent close by. So you kind of have to just block it out and focus. I mean, I'm pretty focused. In my newborn session this morning, my newborn session was a baby and her 2-year-old sister, and the session was an hour and a half. The baby fed once before the session. She did not feed the entire session. And even when I stripped her down naked, I thought for sure she was going to want to eat. Nope. She fussed a little bit, gave her a little pacifier, and she was 8 days. And we got through an entire session without any bottle, any milk, nothing. I was just shocked. The nanny was here, and the nanny sat like 3 feet away from me the entire session and just was watching me the whole session just to see if I needed anything. And every time she saw I needed something, my assistant Estella was so fast, like a burp cloth or a pacifier. I'd reach for something. My assistant Estella was faster than the nanny could have been. So the nanny, just kind of relaxed and she just watched everything. And the mom, there were times where she came up and stood up and walked over and watched. And then there were other times she was handling the 2-year-old. But honestly, it was just Estella and I, because Alex wasn't filming this morning. And I think Estella and I said like 2 words the whole hour and a half. We're just kind of focused and dialed in onto the session. So for the person asking the question, number 1, focus. Focus on that baby. Focus on what you're doing. And even if a mom is standing right over you, if you don't have room to shoot, just say, you know what, Mom, why don't you pull a chair up and sit right next to me so you can watch? That's what I would say. Or if you don't have an assistant and mom feels like she needs to help you, then I would say, no, thank you, I don't need any help, or thank you for the help. When I was teaching in China a couple of years ago, I was in a room with 400 photographers. 400. Do you even know what that looks like? And newborn babies. And 400 photographers and 400 phones. And I think there were like 5 cameras. I was just like, wow. I know there's photos somewhere. It's just me in a little circle and mounds of photographers. And I just was like, okay, I got to dial it in and focus on my work. And I was masked because they always wear masks. And I think this was like 4 years ago. And I just had to focus. I was like scared out of my mind. Mind you, I don't know what they're saying about me. So they could be saying anything. And I just was like, I'm just going to focus on that baby and nothing else. So that's what you have to do. Okay, next question.
Okay, from Facebook, how are you? Is there a way to figure out the best way for my package pricing? I'm having a hard time, and am I too expensive, not expensive enough?
Okay, so package pricing. Here's what I do with package pricing. You want to write down all of the items in your package and write down the retail price of those items. Because if you're doing a package pricing, I'm assuming you have these items a la carte. So if you do, write down, let's say a package is, and there could be 2 types of package. Are you talking about product package or session package? Let's say a baby plan pricing, baby plan packaging would be newborn 3, 6, 9, 12, or however you want to do it. I would write down the retail value of those sessions, the retail value for a newborn session, which is different than a 3, 6, 9, 12. Write down the retail value of everything and add it up. Then I take a percentage off, and that's my package pricing. The percentage could be 15, 20, 25%. On average, it's about 20%. If you calculate 20% off of that retail number, that's a good number for the package pricing. This works for products or anything that you're doing. And this is really pretty common for most companies. If McDonald's is going to do a Happy Meal and you look at the price of a hamburger, French fries, and a Coke, and the Happy Meal is going to be less than that, right? And it could be anywhere from 10 to 20% less. And that's the Happy Meal pricing. So when someone's looking for a package, they expect that it's going to be less than a la carte. As far as are you too expensive or too cheap, that's always the question of the day, because people will put their pricing out there, especially if they're changing the pricing. And then if nobody's booking them right away or no one's calling them right away, they immediately freak out. Like, I must be too expensive, or I went too high in my pricing, or maybe I'm too low and they're questioning why I'm too low. I did a podcast a while ago. I think it should still be on iTunes if you Google iTunes and search my name. And I said it's not about the price, the name of the podcast. I can't recall, but I did it a couple of years ago because I basically said that in the 20 years I've been shooting, no one in 20 years ever came to me and said, Anna, I chose you because of the price, or you were the cheapest person on the block, or like no one ever said that. People may say, oh, I was so glad you posted that gift certificate special because I had been wanting to come to you and now I get to save. Like, I'll get that. But no one has ever said, oh, I came to you because, and mentioned my price, ever, ever. They've always said, I came to you because you were referred by somebody or I liked your work. So if you're worried about your pricing is too high or too low, that's not what you should be worried about, because your pricing should be based on your cost of doing business. And if you're pricing correctly, that price should be correct. What you should be worried about is your work. Is it current? Is it on trend? Is it relatable? Is it consistent? Maybe ask someone to take a look at your work and look for any flaws. I'm constantly critiquing my work. I'm constantly changing things, updating things, trying to make my work better, because I want to make sure that I'm providing the best work I can and that the value is there. So I can't answer your question without seeing your pricing and knowing your market and knowing all of those other things that are required to know to fully answer it. But try not to, if you're confident in your pricing and meaning you're confident in the number that you came up with, and you come up with your package pricing and people aren't calling you or you're not booking enough, it's time to take a look at your work and maybe try something new or try something different.
Okay, next question. Not really a question. Nobody's asked it directly, but a few comments. Are you cold?
Yeah, I'm always cold. Because I'm like wearing a turtleneck and a shawl.
It's 72 degrees here
Is it?
in
Is
Tustin,
it?
by the way.
Is it 72? I have boots on too, and leg warmers under my boots, and socks, and a romper, and a bodysuit under my romper. So I'm not cold right now. Alex is wearing a t-shirt. Oh, he's not wearing flip flops. You're wearing
No.
shoes, but he's
Yeah,
wearing
well, I
a
took my shoes
t-shirt.
off, but yeah.
I'm always cold. Yeah.
Okay, actual question. Other than your camera, what is the one thing you forgot for a session and had to wing it / improvise?
My yoga ball. I hate it when I don't have a yoga ball. That really freaks out. That would be traveling. Well, so if I forgot something, that means I'm not in my studio and I have to wing it. Yoga ball, although I usually send someone out to get a yoga ball. I'm trying to think. Oh, I forget something all the time. Alex, how many things have we forgotten? Diffuser? Okay, I
We've
could.
probably forgotten everything at least once.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, okay, I can think of all the times. We're at a home session. I forgot my diffuser, and I held up a chuck. Remember, Alex, we hung up a chuck in the window? I have a picture on my Instagram. Alex and I were going to write a book one day, all of our adventures. Yeah, I hung a chuck to the window. Okay, that I forgot. I forget diffusers all the time. Pop-up changing tent. I have one. I think I forget it 99% of the time. So then you hold the towel up. Let's see. What else have I forgotten? The yoga ball. Memory cards. I've had to borrow from Alex. Batteries. Usually run to the store. White noise. Borrow from a client or use the phone, even though I don't like doing that because the whole phone thing. Oh, I'm trying to think, Alex, when we're on trips and we're like, why do we forget this all the time? I feel like diffuser is a big one. Diffuser reflector is a big one.
Yeah.
Because Evan notoriously takes my car. And in my car, I probably have, they're back in there now, I probably have like 3 or 4 diffusers and reflectors. And Evan will go, Mom, I want to borrow your car. And when Evan borrows my car, that means it's a trip to Home Depot or the fish store. Those are the 2 places he needs my car for. And so he empties my entire car, and there's really nothing in my car except my diffusers and my reflectors, because I've gotten to the point where I don't even put anything in my car anymore because I don't even use my car half the time. So, and I'm like on this car clean obsession freak thing where I keep going to the car wash and just dropping my car off and spending $1 zillion and telling them to clean it. So if you went in my car right now, the only thing that's in there is probably diffusers and reflectors and maybe a sweater, because I'm really paranoid about being cold. trying to think what else like is super big that I've been on a trip. Back in the day, it was always diffusers, not diffusers, the reflector cones for backlighting. We were in Peru. We had to use tinfoil.
Yeah.
That was a big thing.
The triggers and stuff.
The triggers. Yeah. We've learned Alex is like MacGyver. He's a guy. So we've been on some crazy adventures around the world and we'll just make stuff up. Yeah. I was at WPPI teaching. Was it WPPI? No, because Ava was with me. We were on some trip and Ava left my banners on the train. Maybe that was New York. I've left my umbrellas on the train. Yeah. Camera batteries. That's a big one.
We always leave them charging in the wall.
Or how many chargers have I left in the wall? I think I've lost 3 like expensive chargers in hotels. Literally left the hotel and went back in and they're like, sorry, there's no charger. I'm like, yes, there is. Like I just saw it. Yeah, so I leave everything in a hotel. And then camera batteries, yeah. Or I'll remember the camera battery and it's dead. That happened just a couple weeks ago and I had to borrow a photographer's camera. If you've been in a workshop with me, you can answer the question because you've lent me a battery or something. Okay, next question.
Do you offer friend and family discount? If so, would you mind sharing?
Yes and no. So back in the day, I used to create postcards and it would say friends and family discount, 50% off sessions. And I actually had them printed out because I lived in a cul-de-sac and you know, you start out and you have all your mommy friends and you're like the mommy photographer. Anyone who's starting out who has little kids, you're either in that zone now or you've been there. I was in that zone at one point. Glad I'm not in that zone. Never want to be in that zone again. There's nothing worse than being in the mommy photographer zone because your friends don't want to pay you for photo sessions. They just don't. But in the beginning, it was really hard for me because I had moved from New York to California, so I didn't really have any friends. And so we moved, when we bought a house, we bought it in a cul-de-sac, and I didn't really know anyone. But I kind of did because then you take your friends to birthday parties, classmates, and then you're talking to mommies, and you're kind of friends, and then you tell them you're a photographer, and they're like, oh, I would really, bring your camera at the next play date. And then you bring your camera, and you're like, you're not going to charge them because you're like at a play date. So you'll be like, oh, I'll just take some photos and send them to you. So there was kind of that for a while. And then I would do like, oh, I'm going to do a spring special in my neighborhood. I'll never forget this one. It's like a nightmare. I had like plastic eggs. Like if I ever do a shoot again with the plastic eggs that you put candy in at a store, that means I've given up or there's something mentally wrong with me because it looked so tacky. It looked so tacky and I thought it looked so good. And I think I did it for like 5 years. You know, the little plastic eggs that you fill with candy and I had them and the green fluff from the Easter basket and oh God. So I did it in my neighborhood and I sent out a postcard to everybody and I said 50% off. And then I said 50% off the products and things like that. Look, your friends and family don't want to pay. So family I've never charged, ever. And I photographed my brother's wedding in Seattle in the rain, something I will also never do again. And I didn't charge him. And I photographed my nieces and nephews. And which, by the way, I just found out that one of my nephews, his girlfriend's pregnant. And she proposed. That'll be the first great-grandchild of my family. It's crazy. But I don't charge for family. When I say family, I mean family, not family. Not like, well, because Alex in New York, you grew up with like aunts and uncles. And I was like 25 before I realized that most of my aunts and uncles weren't my aunts and uncles. So it's like, is it blood family or is it like the aunt that you see all the time that babysits you? I think she'd still be considered family. So I don't charge family ever. I'm thinking, have I ever? Never. Friends, I'll usually not charge them either, but I'll say if you want to buy product, you can just buy it 50% off. Yeah, that's about it. I'm thinking because I'm trying to think if there's any scenarios. And when I answer these questions, I'm trying to think if I'm telling the truth. And so that's why I really think like, yeah, think I'm telling the truth. I I don't recall. Like, if you're a friend of mine, I probably haven't charged you. Unless you say, Anna, I want to buy a session from you and I want to hire you. But they would say that to me. I wouldn't say that to them. Next question.
Okay.
They seem so easy, Alex, right? You're probably like, this is a really easy question. She'll answer this in 5 seconds.
Well, I know it's never going to be 5 seconds. Out of the box question. I have noticed that your hair and outfit are pretty much the same.
Correct.
Of course, some variation. And then in all caps, for some reason, she's screaming this part. Is there a part of your brand? Is this a part of your branding? I don't know why she capitalized it all, but I have been planning mine, so I feel this Q&A was a good time to ask you.
Oh, no, it's not part of my branding. I just wear black 99% of the time. As far as my hair, this is just my hair color. It's always been my hair color. I do get gray touch-ups because I've been experiencing very tiny bits of gray hair, but not enough to have gray hair. And I decided that, like, until Oprah and J-Lo are gray, I'm not going to go gray. Because J-Lo and I are the same age. So if J-Lo's not going gray, I'm not going gray. But I don't have enough gray to go gray. So I get little touch-ups. If I see one gray hair, I call my salon. I'm like, I saw a gray hair. Well, actually, I pluck them out. And Ava gets mad at me. If I see one, I'll just pull it out. Because I don't really have a lot of them. But no, this is my hair color. And I just like black. If you look in my closet, 99% of my wardrobe is black. I do have some gray and some burgundy. I think I own 3 burgundy tops. And I think I have a 20% gray. I've always been like this my whole life. When I was little, I wore some very colorful clothing. I have photos, and that was my mom's doing, not my doing. But once I got on my own, like, I don't think there'll be a photo of me in red. I did have a pink dress. It was like a blush dress that I wore with this boy when I was like 19. Yeah, because he was a model. And I remember going to this modeling thing, and I was wearing this pink blush dress. White, very rarely. I have to be, like, on an island to wear white. Like, it's got to be, like, 150 degrees. Even in Dubai, when it was 110, I was still wearing black. So, yeah, it's not part of my branding. It's just me. I don't have to think about it in the morning. I just get up. I have 3 children, 2 dogs, 2 bunnies. There's a lizard. We have 2 fish tanks. I got to get up in the morning and get to the studio and make sure that everyone is where they're supposed to be. So I like to spend like 5 minutes getting ready in the morning. I put my hair back because when I'm shooting, I can't have my hair full on my face. I did cut 8 inches off my hair a year ago. I kind of regret that, but it's growing back healthy. It's like to here right now. But it's hard for me to wear my hair down because it just falls on my face because it's all one length. So I don't really wear my hair down unless, I don't know, I'm going to a club or a party. And when was the last time I did that? I don't even know. So no, the answer is no. It's not part of my branding. That's the answer.
Okay. Just a comment from YouTube from Marine. She says, "You inspire me. I believe in myself when I watch your videos."
Oh, thank you. You gotta believe in yourself. If you're not gonna believe in yourself, who else is gonna believe in you? You have to be your biggest fan. You have to be, because people aren't attracted to Debbie Downers. Okay, I will say, so you'll post something fun and positive on Instagram or Facebook, and you'll get like 5 comments, and one's probably your mother or your best friend. And then you'll post something drama like, OMG, this fill in the blank pissed me off, blah, blah, blah. And you get 5,000 people to you, moths to a flame, right? Everyone's like, and people love drama. People love the negative. So I was about to say people don't like the negative, but that's not quite true. But what I mean is people aren't attracted to negative people. If you're always complaining and you're always putting yourself down and you're always thinking negatively, people aren't going to want to hang out with you unless they're just as miserable as you are. No, it's true. Misery loves company. But if you're positive and you believe in yourself, and my dad is 88, and if you've ever seen a picture of my dad, and there's one on my personal Facebook, He has the kindest eyes that I've ever seen in a man. And my dad has very kind eyes because he's just a very kind, deep down, deep in your soul person. He's just that kind of guy. And even when he was angry and punishing us and spanking us with a belt from Argentina, he still was, as he has a kind nature about himself. And he was a very strict father. And he's one of those people that you kind of want to be around. You kind of want to talk to because he's just positive. And you want to be that positive person. You want your clients to want to be around you, and you want your clients to want to enjoy the experience, and you want the people that love you to enjoy being around you. So just try and just be positive. That wasn't even a question. Thank you for saying that.
No, I was like, wow, she's gonna go
Alex
on
is
and on.
like, here she goes. I caught myself.
Okay. Do you refund contracts due to winter historic storms or reschedule or charge fees?
I mean, if a client has to cancel, it's refundable. Yes, it's the session is refundable. So we take deposits for sessions. We take a $500 deposit for a session, and if they cancel it, it's refundable. Keep in mind we're in California, so we don't really have winter storms or what was the other? I don't even know.
Reschedule or charge fees?
I don't charge a fee if they're rescheduling. People reschedule all the time. It's part of the nature of the business, maternity, newborn. If I was living in New York, I'm so glad I'm not, and there was a winter storm, I would think that the client would want to just reschedule because they can't make it, and neither can I. And I wouldn't charge a reschedule fee. Obviously, everyone that's booked, we want them to come, but if they can't, then we have to refund their session fee for sure.
Yeah, again, it's 72 degrees here in California today.
I'm very happy in my sweater and shawl.
Oh, this one is going to take a while.
Oh no.
Grab a seat,
take
grab
a
a
sip
snack,
of water?
guys. Anna, what keeps you motivated every day?
What keeps me motivated every day? I mean, in short, I don't want to sound cheesy. I feel like Alex is gonna give me a cheesy look.
Well, I don't think there's any way to answer this type of question without it sounding cheesy. though.
Okay. I think because tomorrow's not guaranteed, you guys. It's just not. It's just not. And so there are people that die every single minute of the day. Somebody passes this world. And so I am very appreciative of life. I think about death almost every single day. I literally, just because I have children, and so I worry all the time. Like if they're not home, I'm worrying all the time. We use this Life 360 app where you can see where everybody is. And I hate it when like my son's late at his girlfriend's. I just because I'm gonna go to sleep. And it's like past my bedtime. And I just, I'll be like, Evan, please be careful driving home. And he's like, I always am, Mom. And I'm like, I know. But it's so much anxiety with raising kids, man. Yeah. What keeps me motivated? Just want to do as much as I can every day. Because I don't know if I can do it again. I hate procrastination. I hate when I procrastinate. Oh, that's just the death of me. I'll procrastinate and then I'll get so mad at myself for like a month for procrastinating because it's like, oh, I should have did this or I should have did that. And then, an order will be late because I procrastinated or whatever. Like procrastination causes so many things. So I just feel like there's nothing good from it. There's not a time I procrastinated that I've been happy about it. And there's so much I want to do in life. Like, I feel like I'm not getting anything done. There's like, my list is stupid. Like, there's so much I want to do. And I get very anxious because I just feel like I'm not accomplishing anything ever. So, yeah, I'm keeping it short and I'm trying not to get emotional because I could go on for like 5 days with that question. Literally for 5 days. I mean, I'm not someone that just lounges around because that's such a waste. I do nap. Napping is amazing. I think naps are like the best thing in the entire world. But yeah, I keep myself motivated. Me, myself, and I. And I've got 3 pretty motivated children. So if I slack off, they'll be like, Mom, 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 you blah, 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 blah. Sometimes I'm like, oh, can't you just watch cartoons? And they're teenagers now, so they don't. Actually, Evan was watching a cartoon the other day. I don't know what it was. I don't know. Does that answer your question? Me, I don't have any. I don't have any other answer except that every day is a chance to do your thing. And yeah, if you don't do it today, what if you're not here tomorrow?
It was fine.
Okay.
This one, I think you've answered this one, so I don't know if you're going to want to answer it again, but I think it was when we were talking about what you've forgotten before. Someone said you shouldn't retell your story about how you forgot your camera in Laguna.
Oh,
Maybe just a really quick recap. I think we might have covered this in one of the previous Q&As.
Oh my gosh. You know, he's not there anymore since COVID. His business isn't there anymore. Okay, I'll do the short version. Yeah, I forgot my camera. I remember at that time too. This is a while ago. It's
Yeah,
probably
it was
like
like 4 years,
yeah,
maybe 5.
4 years ago. And I actually remember at that time that I did have a backup camera in my car, but I don't anymore. I still don't. But there was a time I did. I had a beach family session, and I remember it was one of those days, and I was like, I don't need an assistant. It's a family. The kids aren't little. I got this. I can do this. I was busy. I'm always busy when it's beach session day. Beach session day, I should just block my afternoon off before a beach, but it never happens that way. Every time I have to go to the beach, I have back-to-back sessions, and I'm very strict with time. So if I have to be somewhere at 5, I'll be there at 4:59. So I don't know. I was running out the door. I get to the beach and I open up my car trunk and there's no camera. And I'm just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So I call the studio and I'm 40 minutes on a good day from the beach. 30 if you're breaking every speed limit, stop sign there is. But it's a solid 40 minutes from the studio. And Justin, who also works on our videos, was working the night shift. And I was like, Justin, you got to bring me my camera. But I shoot an hour and a half before sundown. So take 40 minutes out of the equation. It doesn't really leave that much time for the shoot. And I remember that there was a photographer on the corner. He's not there anymore since COVID. But where I used to shoot in Laguna, there was this, Alex is like, hurry up, because I just want to laugh and cry at the same time. And this guy had his studio, right? Older guy. Oh, God. And so I come in there and I'm freaking out, okay? And I'm like, can I please borrow your camera? I'm a photographer. Do you rent cameras? He's like, no, I don't rent cameras. And I told the family, like, hold on, I'll be right back. And they're like, and it was a new client on top of it. And he's like, no. And I'm like, no, I don't think you understand. You have to let me use your camera. And he said no like 15 times. I'm like, you can have my license, my wallet, my keys. Google my name. Have you ever heard of my name? No, he didn't care who I was. Okay, well, I'm not a crazy person, even though I feel like I look like a crazy person. Google my name so you know that I've been around a long time. I think he said no to me for like 10 minutes. I was freaking out. I was like, you have to let me use a camera. He finally was so annoyed at me because I wasn't leaving. I wasn't leaving without a camera. And of course, it's a freaking Nikon. I don't know how to use Nikon. And it's an old camera where everything to change it is manual. And I'm just like, this lens. And I'm like, how do you... Because I had to borrow film. Was it film? No, it was digital. A memory card. I had to borrow a memory card. And he was like, you photographer, you figure it out. I'm just like... Oh my God. And I remember walking down to the beach trying to figure it out. Oh my God. So yeah, I forgot my camera. The short version is he let me use his camera. I shot it when Justin came down. I switched cameras. Justin returned the camera. I don't even remember what I did with the memory card. I don't think I ever gave him back his memory card.
I don't know.
I kept the memory card because it had images. You know, I don't think I ever gave it back. I'm so sorry. I don't think I ever gave him back his memory card. I don't know. He's not there anymore. If you're watching and I owe you a memory card, let me know.
Okay, next question.
Yes. Next question.
How do you pick or should you pick what your studio specializes in? Maternity, newborn, families? Should you say you can do it all or just specialize in something specific?
That's up to you. I mean, I say I specialize in maternity and newborn, but I also do children and family. To me, if you specialize in something, that means that the word specialize, it's like that means that the majority of your brain, your education, your knowledge, your training comes from that specific area. It's kind of like if you go to the dentist and he says you need a root canal and you have to go to a root canal specialist. That means the guy you're going to knows everything about root canals. Can the dentist do a root canal? I'm sure he probably can, but they're time consuming and they're expensive. And if he spent all day doing root canals, he wouldn't have time to do anything else. So you go to the root canal guy, and he's like the master at root canals. And whatever your problem is, he's going to fix it with root canals. Now, if you say, I need a crown, what is a crown? It's like where you put on top of your tooth, right? I think. He's probably going to send you to a crown guy, right? It's like a pediatrician and a OBGYN. So you want to, I think you should have some type of genre that you are really, really good at. That's what I think. Because it's like jack of all trades, master of none. You know that quote? The reason I say that is because people will seek you out because you're really good at X. It's like pet photography. I suck at pet photography. I offered it for like 3 seconds and literally got rid of it. I even went so far as to buy tissue paper for pets and stickers. I had a logo. I photographed my dog. I did the whole 9 yards. I think I photographed kittens once and a dog once, and I quit. I was like, no. My own dogs don't even listen to me. My dogs don't listen to anything I say. I cannot do pet photography. I was like, no, I will hang myself if I have to ever do this again. Now, clients bring in pets all the time, and they'll say, can I bring in my pet? And I'll be like, yeah. FYI, I'm not a pet photographer. I have 2 dogs. They don't listen to anything I say unless I'm holding a treat. They'll sit there on the front step, and the minute I hold the camera up, they crawl under my legs. It's super annoying. So that's why I don't really post that many pictures of my dogs. So I'll say you can bring them, bring treats, bring your dog trainer. I'm not going to guarantee I'm going to get your newborn and a dog. I'm really good at newborns, not really good at dogs and newborns. So, I think that specializing is important because you'll become known in that area and people will seek you out because they want to go to someone who's specializing in something. They want to go to someone who's investing time, money, and education because that means that that person really is putting a lot of thought and energy into perfecting their work. But does that mean you can't do other things? Yeah, of course you can. You can do whatever you want. I mean, I did headshots last week. I mean, you can do it. I mean, at the end of the day, you should do whatever you can to bring money in. I don't do weddings. I've done 7 of them, and I didn't like any of them. And I love wedding photos. Love them. I could stare at brides all day. Do I want to do a wedding? No. Nor will I ever do them again. I did them for assistants, for my brother, for family, to get my daughter in a preschool. And I just was like, if I never do another wedding again, it'll be too soon. In fact, my daughters and I were talking about that the other day. I'm like, I need to hire a wedding planner, a photographer. Like I can't do any of their weddings. I'll die. So the answer to your question is, I do think specialty is a good idea because it allows you to perfect your work. It allows people to identify your brand and to attach something to your name. But you can also have other services available. Why not? It's kind of like you go to someone for eyebrow waxing, and then you get there, and they're like, oh, we do a massage and a pedicure. And you'll be like, well, you know what? I'm here, and I like you. Why not get both?
Someone on Facebook is saying, I'm finally leaving my full-time job to focus on my business, and I am terrified. Any advice?
Yes, congratulations. You should be terrified. That's what will get you out of bed in the morning and allow you to pay your bills. When people are too comfortable, that's when you get lazy. So you should be terrified. My advice is to stay terrified because you'll grow and your business will skyrocket. The person that's terrified of paying their bills and having to make it and succeed, those are the hustlers. And you want to be a hustler. The people that have, so many times, I mentor. So I mentor so many people that have full-time jobs and are trying to do this on the side. And they'll tell me, Anna, I'm not ready to quit. And I'll be like, well, you probably should quit. They're like, no, I can't survive without this income. Like, I need this income. And sometimes it's for the benefits, and it's a very valid reason. And I don't want them to be homeless. So, of course, then I say, okay, keep the job as long as you want. But if you listen to any of the great gurus in the world or some really heavy hitters, people like Anthony Robbins or, people that are like diehard motivational people, they'll just be like, it's too much of a safety net. You're too comfortable. You need to be uncomfortable. You need to be terrified. If you ever watch Shark Tank, I've seen Shark Tank like 5,000 times. It's on my house like 24/7. They're always like, quit your job, quit your job, quit your job, quit school, quit this, quit that. And the entrepreneur is like, no, I can't quit my day job. And sometimes the sharks will be like, I don't want to talk to you because you don't want to quit your job. And the person standing there, I always feel so bad for them. They'll be like, I can't. I'm like the breadwinner, and it's my family relies on my benefits and everything. And the shark will be like, but you're comfortable. You have everything you need right now. So why would you be motivated to do that other job? But if you lost your job, that's going to put a fire under your pants and you're going to be terrified and you're going to have to come up with food. And so many people will be like, oh, I can't quit my job. I can't quit my job because I need it. And then guess what happens? They'll get fired. And then they'll be like, oh my God, I just got fired. And then that side hustle they're doing all of a sudden becomes super important and they make it work. When I went pro to photography, I just quit my job. I didn't have any comfort level. Was I terrified? I can't say that I was terrified because I didn't have a lot of financial pressures at the time that needed me to be terrified. But I still get terrified. I think you need to always be terrified. Like I was thinking the other day, like, I wonder how long I'm going to shoot for. Like, we're all not going to live forever. And do I retire at some point? I assume I do. Do I? I don't know. And then I think, okay, well, I'm self-employed, so I should have a retirement plan, right? I don't have a retirement plan. So it's like you have life insurance. I guess they would give you money in there. And then I started thinking, well, when I worked for a company, I had a retirement plan. I think I need a retirement. Why don't I have my accountant's probably, oh, thank God my accountant's not on YouTube. He'd be freaky. He'd be calling me right now. He's not on YouTube. He is on Instagram. So he would see this if someone is posting me on my story, my account, because he'll come in and be like, Anna, I saw you on Instagram. Like I think, oh gosh, what am I going to do when I'm like old and gray and like my kids are, I don't know, what if they don't get married till I'm like 100 and then I have to pay for their wedding and I'm not working and I don't have any money? What do I do then? Like I started thinking about that the other day. Like, how long do I have to make money for? Okay, my kids are only teenagers. Like, what happens when they go to buy a house and they need a loan? I need like 500 nest eggs. So I think you should always be terrified. So congratulations for quitting your job. Did you quit your job or get fired? Quit. Congratulations. Welcome to my world. Did I answer that question? Did she say, what was her question?
It was what camera?
No, was she, any advice?
Hold on. Yeah, any advice? Like I finally leaving my full-time job, to focus on my business.
Hustle. Is it a female or you can't tell?
It won't show me on
okay.
this.
So I don't know who's saying it, if you're male or female. I was going to say hustle mama, but if you're a male, you can hustle too. Hustle. Always hustle. You got to be the hustle queen, man. You got to just work like you're never going to work again. I've been hustling for 20 years, and I'll probably hustle for another 20 more. And enjoy it. Enjoy that you're self-employed and you can do whatever you want and make your own rules and be your own boss. Okay, next question.
What photographers do you watch for inspiration and ideas?
None and everyone, because I don't know anyone's names. And I don't spend a lot of time browsing, so I'll just kind of be like scrolling, but I don't really follow anyone. I mean, I follow a lot of people. What was the question? Was it? Sorry. I was like,
What photographers do you follow for inspiration and
inspiration.
ideas?
I can't say that I follow any particular photographer, but look, I mean, my whole feed is full of photographers. It's like all I see are photographers. I don't even see not. If I were to go in, it's just photographers 20. It's all I see. So I think everybody inspires me. I'm always inspired. I'm inspired by everybody, everything. My students, people that were before me, people that were after me, everything inspires me. I get inspired all the time, every day. I'll see something. I get inspired more by bridal or boudoir, or dancers. Dancers really inspire me because I love movement, and I love fabric, and I love dancer bodies. So I follow a lot of dance photographers. Rachel Neville is a dance photographer who teaches. Ooh, there's a name. And the reason I know her name is because I took her online course, and she's a fantastic dance photographer. She inspires me. Her movement is fantastic. Sue Bryce inspires me because I think her female portrait work is flawless. Annie Leibovitz is questionable. I really like a lot of her work, and some of it, I just, it's not my taste. There's some really good photographers. Whenever the Oscars or the Emmys or the award shows come on, I can't remember the guy's name, but there's a photographer. And remember I showed you one time, Alex, where he made sets in the back of the lot in Hollywood? Remember I was showing you? He set up these sets in the back parking lot of like muslins, and then he takes photos of the actors with their awards, and it's in the back of parking lot. I can't remember his name. But if you like ever Google like not Grammy, it would be more Oscar photographer. He has a really amazing Instagram account. And the Oscars would happen. I say would happen. Did we have Oscars this year? I don't even know.
I think coming up, maybe.
Coming up? I thought it was January. I don't even know.
I
I'm
have
a
no
big
idea.
award show person. I don't even know what happened at the award shows. But I would always look for him on Instagram because in the back Hollywood lots, he would just set up like these sets. And in the beginning, it used to be just like canvas muslin drops, like in a parking lot, and lighting, and the stars would come out. And I could stare at his work all day long. And I don't know his name. And now his sets have become even more elaborate, but they're amazing. I actually like to Google stock photography all the time. So if I'm trying to create a new set or come up with something, I'll go to Adobe Stock and Google flowers. And I could spend 2 hours in Adobe Stock Library. True. I probably spend more time in Adobe Stock Library than anyone I know. So I started doing unicorn sessions. I spent 3 days researching unicorn photos in Adobe Stock Library. 3 days before I decided I would do unicorn photos. I'm obsessed with stock libraries. There, I bet you didn't know about that about me. More than social media. Yeah. Okay, next question.
Do you grade card before every session? And then multiple questions of the same person.
Okay.
How often or how do you get a warm look for shooting babies? Do you often change your color temperature?
No and yes. So I do not use a grade card. Years ago, I even have them around here somewhere. I don't even know where they are. Years ago, I bought grade cards. I even bought the Expo disc that screws onto your lens. That was a nightmare. I used that like once. I couldn't figure out how to use that. Then I tried grade cards. That doesn't work. Then I had a color checker. That didn't work. Alex he uses them. He works for him. Maybe because he's video. I can't get it to work for me. And I have students that use it and love it. I use Kelvin color temperature. And so in my studio, I'm usually 5,500 for babies, not higher than that for babies. If a baby is very red or jaundice, then I'll probably be 53, 5,400. Every blue moon, 52, but never less than that. Keep in mind, Canon and Nikon will yield different results on these temperatures. I wouldn't say that my babies are very warm, actually. They're pretty just accurate. When I want warm images would be in the evening outside maybe 5,700 or 6,000 color temperature if I was like shooting in the canyon outside as the sun goes down or the beach. But my baby images, I wouldn't say that they're warm. I would say that the color is pretty accurate for what I'm seeing. I want it to look very real. Some people use a ton of presets and they make them really warm or glowy or brown or white or whatever. That's not me. I'm pretty accurate with my color. What I see is what I want to get. So 5,500, and I'll change it. I'll change it throughout the session, or I won't change it at all.
Where do you order your packages or your package boxes from, and can they be customized?
Package boxes. What are my package boxes?
I have no idea. I thought you would know.
My packaging that I mail to clients? Gosh. If that's what you're talking about, I have no idea. It's a company that does box branding. I even wrote it down the other day because I had to order new boxes and I couldn't find where I ordered them from. Brand. Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. If you're talking about image boxes or the boxes that I ship my clients' order in, I don't know. Send me an email, Anna@annabrandt.com, and ask me specifically what you're talking about because I'm not quite certain. Okay, next question. What time is it? Okay.
It's 2:57.
Okay.
So it's been an hour. Any new topics coming to the Learning Center soon? Maybe a video on how to edit your short videos with music for marketing?
Alex?
Yeah, and how do you edit your videos?
I don't edit my videos. Alex edits my videos. So that will not be coming anytime soon because that's Alex. Although, you could go to promo.com. Every blue moon, and I mean every blue moon, like once a year, I'll go to promo.com and you can drag clips of music and images and video and make a cute little short video. But the amount of time it takes me to do that, Alex can do 5 videos in one, and I'll just be like, no. And I'll do it when I get like an email, like, you make your own branded videos with promo.com. And then I'll be like, sure. And then I'll go on and do it. And after I lose 5 hours of my life, I'll be like, this is why I have Alex. But yes, I am working on new content for members. So I have 2 membership sites, members.annabrandt.com and bellybabyschool.com. Bellybabyschool.com is online courses. And we just released 18 wrapping videos. That took over 2 months to film. 18 wrapping videos. So you can go to bellybabyschool.com, and then over the past 2 months, Alex and I did, and let me tell you, we did like 30, but you're seeing like 18 because it's not easy to do. As far as members.annabrandt.com, I am working on new content. So if you're a member, you'll see it soon. But I'm always working on content. It just takes me a while. People think that I just like whip this stuff out, but it takes way longer than you think. I mean, I released the newborn photography book. Oh, did those come in? Those should be arriving like any second. I heard UPS. Should ask Gina if those books arrived. They're supposed to arrive. Is today the 18th? It's supposed to arrive today. I should ask Gina if they came in. Gina! So I wrote 2 books in the past year. A maternity book and the newborn photography book is a 232-page book that I had written before COVID, and then I had to rewrite the whole thing after COVID. That took a really long time. I'm designing new maternity gowns, newborn clothing. That takes a little bit of time. I had to redo all my client pricing, and then I redid my entire website, annabrandt.com, myself. So I'm working on new members content. Don't worry, it's coming soon, very, very, very soon. I do want to know if the books came in. I can ask Gina. Okay. Any other questions?
What is your zodiac sign?
Virgo. That's
Next
easy.
question.
You just look up Virgo, and my face is next to it. I'm a pretty true Virgo. Pretty accurate. August 26th.
Don't forget, people. How long did it take? How many years did you shoot before you outgrew your home studio and moved to a larger space?
3.5. I know this because I started in 1999 and Olivia was born in 2003. And I was pregnant with her when I moved into a space with another photographer, then moved out of the space with another photographer and got my own studio. It was 2003. And I remember when I got pregnant with her, I was outgrowing my home space because at that point I was designing a nursery for her because Evan was a boy and so we had a boy room and then I wanted a girl room. I mean, a 4-bedroom home, and one was a guest room / office for family and things like that. So when I was pregnant with Liv, we were in a house and I was using my yard and my garage. And I remember when I was shooting a toddler and like the toy went underneath the car in the garage because it was a 3-car garage. And I just was like, oh my gosh, I got to get out of the garage. And then also a neighbor told me she'd never hire me because I worked out of my garage. That was a fun day. So yeah, for 3.5 years, I got my studio before I delivered Olivia. And that was 2003, and I went on my own in 1999. So there you go. Oh, I guess they didn't come, huh?
Yeah, I didn't see any. I went to go ask her, but she walked outside at the moment. Hold on, I'm looking for the next question.
Okay.
Is it a question or just a comment?
Hold
Okay.
on. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
How many setups you prepare for newborn photography? Are you discussing colors, props with the clients?
Okay, so I don't prepare any setups in advance. So when my client comes in, my studio is completely clean. Even if I were to do 2 newborns a day, Estella, my assistant, would completely clean the studio and it would be completely clean. So when the client walks in, there's not even a bowl out. Not even my camera. Estella pulls my camera out. When the client comes, the first thing I do is I ask them if they have any images of inspiration. Is there anything they want to show me? Is there some specific reason why they came to me? Is there an image that they've always been wanting? We also do let them know in our client prep guide that they're welcome to send me images of inspiration ahead of time, just so I can be prepared. So when they come in and I ask them this, they'll either show me 100 photos or they'll say, no. Like this morning's client just said, no, she didn't have any images of inspiration. She was too busy. But she just liked neutral colors. And so then I say, okay, well, here's all of my, if you see my studio, I have a whole corner of wraps and outfits and wraps and bonnets and things. Can you please pick out a few things that you like? And the client will say, well, you can go ahead and pick. You can go ahead and pick. And I'll go, well, yeah, but I really need to see what's in your mind. So I ask them to pick out as many outfits and hats as they want to. And they'll ask me, like, how many do I pick? I'll say anywhere from 8 to 10. Just pick a good amount out because I can easily do between 4 to 6 sets an hour. It just kind of depends on how good baby is. A set should only take anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes. I say that because if a baby isn't on a bucket, that's a set. And I'm going to photograph the baby on the bucket, maybe with a headband, maybe with a bonnet, maybe with a lovey, and then I'm done with that particular set. Whereas the beanbag could take me 15, 20 minutes to a half hour. So my clients will see anywhere from 8 to 10 to 12 sets in a session. And I do it with them. So I ask them to pick out, their favorite things that they like. And then I tell them, I'll pick out coordinating blankets, furs, because they'll go, well, you choose, you're the photographer. And I go, well, no, we have to work together. You pick some things and then I'll match it together. And then I tell them while they're sitting and watching, if they look around and they see some props and things that they like, that they can pull it out and I'll try it. I never promise anything because I don't know how good baby's going to be. But I like to give a lot of variety of sets for sure.
Okay, this one's not really a question, but maybe you can give her some advice here. I'm assuming it's a she, I'm not sure. I went and started a studio in an office space type building. They are now moving other businesses in. I'm a little newer, and I was in the back of the building with no natural light. Then the owner moves another photographer, known more than I, to the front with natural light. I am thinking I need a new space and shouldn't stay. I don't want to compete against another photographer. We don't take photos the same, but I wanted to do some of what she already does. So again, not a question, it's just a comment.
That would kill me if that photographer got like beautiful space and beautiful natural light. Oh, that would kill me. Oh, I'd probably move. You want to be happy in your space. You want to be happy. I don't necessarily believe in competition, and I don't say that from a level of arrogance at all. I say that because I truly feel that if a client is going to choose you, they're going to choose you for your work, your personality, your style. And so even if I was on Photographers Row and there were 10 other photographers here, I would hope they were all different enough that it wouldn't matter to the client. But if you're working in a building where the photographer is doing some of the things that you want to do, then yeah, you're kind of competing with them. And that would be really rough. I think at the end of the day, you want to love your space. You want to love it. You want to, Mars space, we're so out of space. We're so out of space. But every day when I walk into my studio, there isn't a day that doesn't go by that I don't love coming to my studio. Not one day. And I don't come in here on the weekend when I'm not here, but as out of space as we are, and we don't have natural light, and there's 5,000 things I want in this space, we don't have it. One day we hope to get it. I still love coming to work. And you want to love going to work, whether your space is in your spare room, whether it's in your basement, whether it's in your attic. I've been to some fantastic home studios. So I don't say that if it's a retail studio. Wherever your working space is, it could be in a garage, a barn, in your backyard. I know lately there's all these mobile studios of people building little teeny tiny homes. Those are so freaking cute. Greenhouses, gardens, whatever you're doing, I think you should love it. And so if you don't love your space and you're not tied to a lease or you can move, then start looking for a space that inspires you and motivates you. You certainly don't want to feel less than in your environment. You want to feel like you can create and do anything. Now, the flip side to that is if you can't move for a million reasons, a lease, rent, money, time, blah, 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 then make the most of your space and never mind that photographer. You do you and just do the best that work you can do. And if it's the same as hers, then it's the same as hers. That's just a fact.
That person about the package boxes responded. They meant the shipping boxes, yes.
Oh, okay. So I can show them. If you ask Gina to bring me one of my mailing boxes, oh man, I have no problem telling you. I just can't think of who it is.
Maybe you can just comment in there after the stream.
Yeah, like if you
This
Google.
is on Facebook.
This is Facebook?
Yeah, it was a Facebook question. So.
I literally wrote myself a note because I can't remember. And I was, oh, here it is. I had to write custom box. I was like, what would I write myself a note for? Ask Gina to bring one in for those who don't know. Okay, brandincolor.com. Brandincolor.com. I should add another search term in here. Branded boxes. Because whenever I run out, I can never find who I've ordered it from. So I keep notes, So I keep notes because I can't remember anything. And, yeah, we'll bring one in for those of you who don't know what they are. We have two types, one for my photography clients and one for the baby boutique, because we have a baby boutique, the boutique.annabrandt.com, and we do little baby boxes and gifts. Oh, this is a small one. I have another one for the boutique. Maybe just grab, Alex, can you grab one of the pre-made gift boxes? It's on the top of the shelf. So this is a small version, and this is brandincolor.com. And so what's great about this is you can just mail it like this. You can just tape it and mail it, and we put the shipping label here. And we have small and bigger ones. And so my packages all fit in here, and I love it. My designer created the pieces because you have to drag and drop them all. And so this other one is for the baby boutique. So this is for the boutique.annabrandt.com. And it just says welcome baby. So we can do gift boxes a little higher. And you can just fill it and make a fun little, your water's going to drop. Make a fun little just gifts, sanitizer and pacifier clip and a Soothie and a giraffe. This is a cute little boy box. What is this? Oh, baby massage oil. And so you can make a little gift box. So this would be for the boutique.annabrandt.com, where if you're going to a baby shower or you want to mail someone a gift box or something like that. So brandincolor.com, and that was a very good question because I can never remember.
When do you plan on coming to Maryland?
When do I plan on coming to Maryland? I have no idea. Basically, when there's enough interest for an area, that's where I'll go. So you can go to workshops.annabrandt.com and see my existing schedule. And if you want me to go to your area, if you think there's enough interest, 5 or 6 or 7 photographers, then I could go do a workshop there. I just need a good space to do it. I haven't done my summer schedule yet. It's wide open because I'm trying to hold off summer to see for international waters if it's possible or not. So I don't think I have anything. I think I have one thing in July in New York, the Baby Academy, which is my last Baby Academy of the year in New York anyway. So I've been very careful of my summer schedule because we're trying to make up some international trips. But yeah, I don't know. Send me a request and I can work on it.
Where do you get your flocattis? I have bought several from different vendors and I can't seem to get exactly the right one.
Okay, so I don't really use flocattis anymore. So what you see behind me, this is from Mimosa House, and they're not considered flocattis. I don't know what they're called, but flocattis are thick and rough, and the texture is harder, and I don't love them. In fact, I think I've gotten rid of all my flocattis. So all I have now are the furs behind me, and that's from Mimosa House. Mike Pang is amazing. He does not sleep. He has a showroom in Japan and here, and he's here in Irvine, and he's amazing, and they're soft and super fluffy, and I cannot recommend Mimosa House for enough. I think Mike is fantastic, and I love, you see I have every color he sells. Tell him I sent you. He'll give you a good deal.
So they're saying that I should do that video tutorial thing. Someone said you could also use the Splice app. I'm not sure what that is.
Splice.
And someone's saying, I'm not sure if I knew this, but apparently I was going to do a class, and they were all ready. They got all the items, programs, on the recommended list, but then it didn't happen.
Well, we talked about it so many times. They obviously didn't register for it.
Yeah, I was supposed to have that at one of our events.
Yeah.
No one signed up for my class.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. We've tried to do a videography class. I think I've brought it up like 3 times. I've even put on the schedule twice because everybody asks for it and then no one signs up for it and then I take it off the schedule. So it's like, I'll just have to I don't know, start an interest class. It's kind of like maternity. I stopped really doing maternity clinics because people would ask for maternity. I used to do a ton. So I used to do master classes, maternity and newborn master classes. I did those for like 10 years. And then I went and did baby clinics, the 4 hours, because after like 10 years of doing master classes, people would be like, well, I just want newborn or I just want maternity. So then I broke it up into 4-hour clinics, baby and maternity. Then I did that for 2 years. I've trained like 900 people. I don't even know what the number is. Insane. We've done it in 30 countries. People are like, well, I want more. And I have people that have taken my clinics like 3-4 times. I have some regulars. I love my regulars because they come in and it's like, hey, Diane. Like I always see Diane when I go to Florida. I love it. Then I came up with the Baby Academy because I felt like I needed something more intense. So the Baby Academy is the only 4-day newborn academy in the world. Did you know that? Nobody else has one. I'm the only one that has a 4-day intensive, exclusive newborn baby academy. I don't know why no one else has done it, but right now I'm the only one that has it. And it's 4 intense days, 8 to 9 hours a day. If you've done it, you know how intense it is. I think it's amazing. I've had 3 now. I think every single student from the academy is amazing. I've laughed, I've cried, I've probably gotten a few more wrinkles. The models have been amazing. Even in COVID, I mean, I just finished a baby academy in Florida and I'm still laughing about the students there because it was so intense. They gave it 500% at the academy. I have another academy coming up, New York in the spring. That one's sold out. And in the summer is my last baby academy in New York. And then I only will do it in California. Why was I talking about this? Oh, yeah. The video. Like, I don't even know what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm telling you. Speed it up here.
So if you really want a video workshop, just send me an email, I guess. I just need people to actually sign up for a video workshop and we'll do one. Because Alex he'll do one.
Yeah, I got plenty of time. Nothing else to do.
Oh, Alex.
Let's try a little.
Should I tell him you're engaged? Alex is engaged. He's off the market.
Here we go again.
Sorry, ladies. So you have until he gets married. And once he gets married and the little babies come, we're in so much trouble. There's going to be no time. His wife is going to take up all his time. So I'm trying to suck every ounce of Alex I can. Right, Gina? We have Alex until the babies come. Once he gets married and the babies come, we're in so much trouble. I know. I'm trying to get him to procreate and train. Well, he is turning red. We need to train the little Alexes.
You didn't hear what she said.
I said he's engaged.
I'll tell you later.
No, tell me now.
Did I say something?
They already heard it.
Oh no, what did I say?
Oh, but he's laughing
No,
about
I'll tell you later.
it. Oh,
Did
was
I
it something
say a
else?
faux pas?
You what?
Did I? Alex, why are you laughing? I don't know what I said. Did I say a faux pas?
You can watch it on the replay.
No, what did I say?
No, we're gonna get demonetized. They're gonna kick us off YouTube.
Really? Did I really say something
Probably.
inappropriate?
Okay, let's move on.
Oh
Where's the
my
next
gosh.
question?
Alex is
I already lost it.
engaged. He procreate? Is that what I said?
How long before you hired help?
I don't know what I don't know what I said. I said procreate.
Something, it was before I walked in and you said procreate when I was in here, so.
I just want him to procreate and have babies. I don't think that's bad. I've been wanting that for years.
Why
With
would you
his
want
wife.
that for years? Because then we're going to lose him even sooner.
But
I wouldn't
if-
have been able to make my coffee this morning.
But if he trains the little bambinos that come in,
No, we're going to be in a
Alex
nursing
is
home by
Alex
that
is
time.
Someone's asking, are we losing Alex?
No.
no. He eventually has to get married and have babies. I mean, it's gonna happen.
That whole background is looking very, very Anna Brandt. Lots of pink and blush. I don't know what that blue is doing there.
I don't think I've ever used that blue either. Needs to go in D-stash. What are we doing? Are we done? How many more questions are left?
There's like 100 questions. This is why I'm telling you, rapid fire.
All right, how many more? Do we have a lot more?
There's like 100.
What?
Yeah, you're kind of
I
little
have to
slow
go to the
here.
bathroom.
Bathroom's right there.
I'm drinking water.
Just take the mic in there with
You
you.
know what? I kind of see we should just put her up.
I said this was gonna be a short one, Alex.
It's been an hour and a half.
Every time you say something's going to be short, and I didn't want to interrupt, so I walked by and I heard the word that you're not allowed to use. I heard it.
Inspiration?
I told you about that word. You know that conversation we had when we were eating? This is our conversation. No inspiration words to be used in here.
I'm getting warm. I have to shed some clothes.
Looks like we're ready to
It's
go.
turning into Anna After Dark now.
Yeah. Oh, when she starts looking down and laughing like that, you lost her.
Oh my god. All right, what are we doing? Let's answer.
Well, the question was, how long before you hired help? I don't know if you did. You answer that? I don't think you did.
Okay, so my first intern.
All right, I'll be back.
You got 1 minute.
My first intern was when I was pregnant with Olivia. 4 years in. I did hire a babysitter when I had Evan. Her dad worked for Canon, and I was completely freaked out because I used to watch Dateline, and there was always someone murdering a baby. So I would only bring her in to babysit if I had to like go do a shoot at the beach. And I would never leave Evan like more than 2 hours at a time because I was a very paranoid first mom because I was like terrified that I was going to leave to go to a beach shoot and she would smother him. So yeah, that was that was a babysitter though. Intern was when I was pregnant with Olivia because my lab said his daughter needed college credits, so I brought in as an intern. First assistant was after I had Ava because I moved from the 500 square foot studio to the 2,500 square foot studio in the center of town that's right behind us. And that was 2005 when Ava was born, and that's when I built my staff. So that was 6 years in. Now, if I were to do this all over again, I would have hired an assistant day one. There is no amount of money in the world that can tell me how important assistants are. I would build it into my cost of doing business. I would open up my doors and hire an assistant from the beginning because I think assistants are that valuable.
Okay. Have you ever photographed an autistic child? If so, do you have any pointers? I am a mother of autistic twins, and it is very hard to photograph them.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I've been photographing children on the spectrum for probably 17 years, easily, if not longer. Years ago, about 10 years ago, I took a course from Special Kids Photography. She teaches photographers how to work with special needs children. Oh, I forget what her name is. I think she still does it. And she came to my studio and taught a class. And so that I could be trained and certified in photographing children with special needs. And she covers the different specialties, and there's different levels on the spectrum. My experience with autism, and I've had many different, if you know anything about the autism spectrum, there's different ranges, right? There's very high functioning and things like that. So there's different spectrums. There's Asperger's. There's all different types. It's our ghost. So I have a lot of clients that unfortunately, I say unfortunately only because I watch them give birth to perfectly normal children and then watched them get on the autism spectrum because of something that happened. That's why I say unfortunately. They're actually brilliant children. So it's not really unfortunately. But I think it's unfortunate that I've watched it happen in front of my eyes, if that's right. I actually have this beautiful boy, Christopher, that I've been photographing since he was, I want to say 2 when I first found out he was on the autism spectrum. And I've been the only photographer in his life. And I just photographed him at the Mission. And oh my gosh, what a fantastic boy he is. I think my biggest advice is, first of all, when I photograph kids with special needs, usually I don't have assistants because usually they don't. I hate generalizing because if you work with anyone with special needs, every single child who has a special characteristic has their own individual something that could set them off. So I hate to generalize. But I've found in my experience with kids on the spectrum that they usually, A, don't like a lot of people, B, do not like loud noises. Certain noises will really affect them. Like I had this mom and son at the beach, and he would do this because the noise of the tide, the mom said he heard it like 10 times the level that we hear it. And if she sang to him, he would calm down. So she pretty much sang the entire session. I started crying in the middle of the session. It was one of the most moving sessions I've ever had in my entire life. And he was like 16. Now, Christopher, I've been photographing him since he was 2, and he's like 15, 16 now. I just photographed right after COVID. I came in and photographed a client that I've been photographing also since he was 4. And it's for his 8th grade graduation. And Dad asked if I would. I came in on a Sunday just to photograph him, and I came in alone. Usually, if you're the mom and you have autistic twins, I think it would be very challenging for you to photograph them because as a parent, it's super hard to photograph your own children. That doesn't mean don't do it, because I've photographed my children since they were born. But it's very challenging to photograph your own children as a mom, let alone as a mom of special needs. I think from my experience with autistic children is they're best when they're observed, when they're in their own space, when they don't feel like you're invading their space or feel like you're trying to force them to do something that they just don't want to do. So if I was photographing twins that were mine, I would probably try to do it when they're engaged in something that they love. Most kids with special needs have something they truly love, whether it's books, blocks, dolls. There's something that they're engaged with that captures their attention. Cards, books. I would give them or put them in this space that they're most comfortable with. And then kind of photograph at a distance from an observation standpoint. If you want them looking at you, smiling at the camera, that's going to be a little tricky, because you know that many times they won't engage their eyes. So I would bring them to a photographer that has experience with special needs and sit back and be the parent, so that you can get a nice portrait of them and be their aid. Because whenever I'm photographing kids with special needs, I need the parent to kind of be their aid. And I have clients that come in with the actual aides, with the nannies, with the tutors. I've had everything. And I just let them do their thing, and I'm the silent observer. I will call their name because they're very intelligent and they know exactly what I'm saying. So I'll say, Christopher, and I'll call them and I'll talk to them and hope I can catch their eye for like a second, and I usually can. But I won't try to wrangle them like I would a child without special needs. I wouldn't do that, because they will withdraw too quickly. So my advice would be more of an observer, because you can get some fantastic images. Because I find that most children, in my experience with special needs, are some of the most brilliant children that I've ever met in my entire life. And if you can allow them to be in their element and be in a safe place that makes them comfortable, you can get fantastic images. Just don't push it. Just don't push it.
Okay, let's go a little faster from here,
Sorry.
because still a lot of questions.
Oh my gosh.
How
All right,
did
we'll
you
just
manage?
go like another 15, 20 minutes.
Okay. How did you manage being pregnant and working? I'm currently 30 weeks pregnant, baby number 2, and not sure how long I should carry on for, and not sure when to come back after having my baby.
Oh man, I wish you would have seen me when I was pregnant and shooting. I remember with Evan, I thought I was going to give birth in a session, because I squat. I've been squatting for 20 years, and so I just squat up and down. With Olivia, I actually fell off of a ladder backwards pregnant. Yeah, I was like 9 months pregnant. I was actually shooting a friend of mine, and I fell backwards. They were so freaked out. Yeah, anyone that knows me when I was pregnant, I carried pretty in the front. And because I was used to squatting up and down, I actually had really great pregnancies. So it depends on how you're feeling. For me, I shot right up until I delivered, because I really liked being pregnant and I carried it well. I was very active my whole pregnancy for all 3 of them. With Evan, I had an emergency C-section after 23 torturous hours of labor, and I was working out of my home, and I did not go back to shooting. I don't even remember, because it was a freaking blur. I remember it was like 6 weeks before I even felt like a normal human being, and I think I cried the entire 6 weeks because I was in so much pain. So I can't even tell you, like my first memory of shooting after having Evan, he was sitting up, just to give you an idea. And I photographed him, but I mean clients. I have a really good memory of a client that I photographed, and Evan was already sitting up. So I don't know how long it took me. I can't even remember. As far as Olivia, I went back, because that was when I had opened in my studio. I went back like 2 weeks later, because I was in the hospital for a week because of a C-section, and then I was home the following week, and then I just scooped her up. And I remember, because my neighbor was like, Anna, that's it. You only took off, like you just had a baby. And I remember bringing Olivia in on the car seat, like just bringing her in. And it was actually easy because she was slept the whole time. With Ava, I hired assistants, and I just brought Ava to work, and I had 2 and 4. I want to say she was probably 2 weeks later as well. But your health comes first. So if you're having a rough pregnancy and you just feel like you can't squat anymore, you never want to risk or endanger the baby in any way, shape, or form. So if I had risky pregnancies, I probably would have stopped a month beforehand, but I carried on right till I delivered. Um, I would say do what your body's telling you to do. If you're done, then be done. When other time in the world can you just not do anything? To me, it's when you're pregnant and had a baby. So I'm not here to rush you. If you're done, feet up, you're done. Do what you feel comfortable doing. As far as after the baby, same thing. I never judge a woman. There's so many hormones in play, healing, body, bleeding, pain. God, you do what feels right to you and don't put any pressure on yourself. If you need a year to recover, take a year to recover. That's just my feeling. Your health of you and the baby comes before everything.
Okay. Do you do beanbag first with naked baby pose, or when do you do those in your flow?
My flow changes every single baby. Most of the time, I start with my Pottery Barn beanbag where the baby's in a bowl and I'm shooting down or on the floor. And then I go to my Pillow Michelle beanbag. And then I go to props. Today, I didn't even use my Pottery Barn beanbag. I went straight to my Pillow Michelle. Then I did bed. Then I did Pillow Michelle. Then I did bucket. Then I did Pillow Michelle. So it changes every single day. Usually, though, I start with baby wrapped on their back because they just ate. So I want them to be comfortable.
Do you photograph more maternity or more newborn? Do you offer discounts for newborn if you did their maternity session?
So we have maternity and newborn package, yes. So if they buy a maternity and newborn package, they're going to save money. And it really varies. I'd say right now, I'm photographing more newborn than anything. I think it's always more newborn than maternity because not everybody does maternity sessions. And then with COVID I had to think for a second. Last summer, fall, we hardly did any maternity because no one was coming out and doing maternity. Now we're booking a lot of maternity, a lot. But maternity goes in waves, but definitely way more than newborn.
Someone's saying, I have a friend who has done my post edits for me because I'm not comfortable with Lightroom as of yet and have no idea in Photoshop. Do you think mastering Lightroom and Photoshop is a complete must before starting out?
I mean, I don't know. I think you should know one of them. I think you should know how to edit your own work because that's your work and your style. And I think that goes along with you capturing the image. The editing is the other half of the equation. So my son loves Lightroom, hates Photoshop, does most of his editing in Lightroom. I'm not a Lightroom master. I'm better at Photoshop than I am Lightroom. I know some people that are brilliant in Lightroom and hate Photoshop and vice versa. So do whatever program you're comfortable in, but I think you should know how to edit your photos. I mean, you don't have to. There's no rule that says you have to.
Do you buy a little gift for your maternity clients when they bring their newborn for a session?
I do not.
Next question. Do you do digital only packages or IPS or hybrid? I'm trying to figure out a hybrid version that works well.
Yes. I do IPS, I do digital only and session only. So session only you would do in-person sales. And we have both. 90% of my career has been IPS because I was film and that's all we did. And then when we went to digital, my clients were used to in-person sales. And it's only been with COVID that most of them have been online, but we still have done in-person sales since COVID. So I have both. I think giving your clients a choice is good.
Do you send out slightly adjusted galleries to the client to pick their number of images, or do you edit everything and then send it out? How many images do you send to pick from?
So I do not edit everything. I do soft proofing. I do not believe in editing everything before the client sees it because then they can't understand the value and worth of your time because every single session, oh my gosh, it would be such a waste of time. a client can see anywhere from 50 to 100 images, depending upon whether it's just baby only or a family. And if I'm doing babies every single day plus maternity, there's no way I would have any time to edit every single image. In addition, it's a waste of time because they're not buying every single image. So why would I pre-edit 100 images when they're buying 10, 20, 40 for a book? And the other 60 are sitting on a hard drive edited? Never. I've never in 20 years of my career edited an entire gallery before a client, ever. It's soft proof. They see my feet. They see the spotters. I pick 1 or 2 images to sneak peek for social media, and sometimes I don't even do that. I don't sneak peek every client, and I don't pre-edit a sample of every client. But my clients know my work, and they know whatever they choose, we're going to edit.
Okay. This person asking, if the studio doesn't have many props, colors, or outfits, do you think it's okay to ask client beforehand about favorite color of palette and prepare a scene?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. I mean, I don't prepare a scene when they come in because that's just me. I need a blank canvas. But yeah, if you don't have a lot, I think you should, because then it'll help you shop, prepare, and set the expectation of the client. Because if you only have a few things and they show up and they're expecting you have everything, they're going to be disappointed, and you don't want that. So yeah, absolutely.
What advice would you give for someone that is just starting out and can't grab the confidence but loves photography and to make people happy?
Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. Confidence will come. I mean, not every session I do is award winning. I wouldn't even say they're amazing, but just keep doing it and you'll get confident in your skill. That's what you need, is confidence in your camera, confidence in your lighting, confidence in your handling of the subject. Your work will get better because the more you do it, you're going to get better. You just have to have at it. So many people have imposter syndrome, or they feel like they're not good enough, or they feel like they don't like their work, or they're not happy. And all of these are just emotions. It has absolutely nothing to do with your job. Your job, if you're getting paid, is to what? Photograph your subject. The rest of that is just noise. It's just doubt and fear and everything playing into your mind. And it's just obstacles. Like you're running down a track and someone's like throwing things in your way to try to get you to trip. There's just obstacles in the way. You got to just do your job. And so do I walk in confident every single day? No. Oh my gosh, no. But I can do my job. I know how to use my camera and I know how to use lighting. I don't know what that baby's going to do. They could cry and vomit in my face all day, but I know how to do my job. Be confident in how to do your job.
Okay. I've had several photographers in my area ask me to mentor. How do you know when you are ready to do that? I would love for that to be my next step in life, but I am very nervous and not sure I am ready.
Just do it. Just do it. When I first started teaching, I can't say I was ready. I started teaching because someone asked me if I would teach, and so I said, okay. My first workshops were a living nightmare. They were horrible. Gosh, they were so bad. I don't even know how anyone came back. They were terrible. You learn and you grow, and you got to start somewhere. And if someone's asking you to teach, that means they must like your work and they think you have something to offer, so try it. What's the worst that could happen? You don't like it? Don't do it again. Just do it.
Okay, I think this might be the person that emailed one of those questions. I noticed that you keep your overhead lights on during your session. Do you use special bulbs in your overhead lights? Do you keep your overhead lights on during maternity and family sessions as well?
Okay, so I do have white lights that Southern California Edison put in a couple of years ago. They're energy-saving white lights, and they stay on all the time. The only time we've turned them off is, I could probably think on one hand 2 or 3 times that I've shut them off where the baby's like miserable, and mom will go, oh, we keep the house like super dark at home. And I'll be like, oh, like even in the day? And they'll be like, yeah. And I'll be like, oh, okay, well, let's try shutting off the lights and maybe that'll work. Mostly on like 3-month-olds. And I can probably count on one hand how many times it's happened and I've shut off the lights. But no, they stay on 24/7. Now, with that being said, I've been to a million studios. Actually, our satellite studio, we can't have the lights on because it gives a color cast. They're yellow, orange. I don't know what they are.
They're a slight yellow, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little warm.
Yeah. So if you've got to experiment and see if your lights give you a color cast like yellow or orange, then you have to have them off. So we noticed that in the satellite studio. We have to turn them off. Could probably change out the bulbs if we stay there long enough. We would. But here it doesn't have any effect. So try it out. I've also taught a lot of conferences and hotels, and the lights are super yellow in hotels. Super yellow. Torture. So that's why most hotels and most convention centers, the photographers are shooting in the dark. That's why.
Yeah, and a really easy way to test if your overhead lights are affecting your photos, set your camera for your studio light, your whatever settings you're going to use, then turn off your studio light and take another photo. If if the overhead lights are not affecting your image, then you'll see almost a very dark image because the overhead lights won't be affecting very much. If you see a properly exposed image, then your overhead lights are probably affecting your image. Okay, next question. Do you give your newborn client... Oh, someone asked this already, kind of, about gifts and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah. Da, 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 da. When you come to Florida, when you just there?
I just left Florida 2 weeks ago.
Can you do lighting and camera angle class? And you have.
I have one. I think it's called Angles Are Everything. And I have a baby lighting course. Both of them are at bellybabyschool.com. One is called Baby Lighting, and one is called Angles Are Everything. They're both really good courses, too, if I do say so myself. Where are these coming from? YouTube or Facebook?
Mostly Facebook, some YouTube, though. How many hours per week have you worked when you first started? The first 2 to 3 years, it's hard to dedicate your family's time toward your business.
I have no idea. My first few years, I can't measure against now because when I started, I didn't have kids, and then I had them boom, boom, boom. They're all 2 years apart. The girls are 23 months apart. So my life was very different than it is now. I wasn't traveling, and I was pretty much the one taking care of the children. So it's a blur. I have no idea. It was like feed, nurse, change, nap time, laundry, clean up toys, do a shoot, repeat. You're just trying to survive. I remember when Ava went to kindergarten. Okay, so she was born in 2005. 2010, she went to full-time kindergarten because she went to the private school her siblings were at. And it was a full-day private school. I mean, full-day kindergarten, whereas when Liv went to kindergarten, it was public school half-day. And when Evan went to kindergarten, it was public school half-day. So Ava's the only one that went to private kindergarten, which is a full day, an 8-hour day, because her siblings were there. I sat in the parking lot and like cried because it was 10 years. Evan was born in 2000. This is 2010. 10 years until I had one 8-hour day with no children. 10 years. Think about that. 10 years of blood, sweat, tears, play dates, nursing, diaper changing, naps, feeding, temper tantrums, timeouts. 10 years. And I just sat in the parking lot like, oh my gosh. And then I think I went to go get a cup of coffee. And then after that, I just kind of was like, okay, game on. I've got from 8:30 to 2:30 every day, game on. And that's probably when I got super motivated. Like, I'm going to do everything I can between those hours because once I get them from school and it's homework, dinner, bath, story, prayers, bedtime, I'm wiped out. So what I tell people is when you have little kids, give yourself a break. It's going to be all about the children. It really is until they get in grade school. And now the whole homeschooling COVID thing, oh my God, so glad that my kids are older. They can do their own schoolwork. yeah, it's just surviving. I have no idea how many. I couldn't even tell you what my days look like. I wish I had Alex then and he could have like filmed me a day in the life of Anna with toddlers. Because it would be me pregnant with a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. My 2-year-old was clinging to my body the whole time. My 4-year-old was painting and insisted on going to Michael's and buying oils and canvas. And if he wasn't doing that, it was Thomas the Train. And if he wasn't doing that, he was on his scooter. And if he wasn't doing that, he was biking. He was like, Evan was full time. Oh my God. And Olivia wouldn't leave the room without being literally attached to my body. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know. It's all a blur. I don't really remember anything those 2 years. I mean, I have a lot of photos. I'm done. I'll just ramble on until you give me the next question, Alex.
Do you ever go over on time? Meaning, if your session is 2 hours and things happen and the baby / children isn't cooperating and the time is up, do the clients have to pay more, or are you understanding about it?
No, time's up. You got to go. It's not a parking meter. No, of course. I never once charged a client more for their time. No, we if we can stay the extra time, we stay the extra time, we get it done.
Because it's like the other way. If you finish early, you're not going to refund the money.
Exactly. Like today was an hour and a half. I feel like we're half an hour less than scheduled. You are entitled to a refund. No, she paid full price and thanked me.
If you were just starting out today, how would you go about finding clients?
The same way I do now. There's no change. And you gotta hustle. Everywhere. You have to be everywhere all the time.
What?
I have like 5 marketing courses on bellybabyschool.com. I have talked about marketing so many times. Go to iTunes, Apple iTunes, Google my name. I have free marketing podcasts there. Go to bellybabyschool.com. I've got like at least 5 marketing courses there. If you're a member of annabrandt.com, I have marketing there. Just Google marketing. Everyone will tell you the exact same thing. Marketing has not changed. It needs to be every breath that you breathe. You have to be selling yourself 24/7.
What online proofing software do you use?
Shootproof. I feel like now we're in trivia. Here we go. Let's go, Alex. Let's wrap up these questions. I don't know how we're going on 2 hours. I was like, no, it's going to be like a half an hour.
When are you going to write an inspiration, motivational, self-help book?
Ooh, that wasn't on my list of things to do.
I mean, you got a lot of time.
I got plenty of time. That'll be my memoirs. I'm writing down self-help motivation book.
What is your least favorite milestone to photograph? Mine is 3 months.
Did she say minus 3 months?
Yeah.
No, that's it. Oh, I have a love-hate relationship with the 1-year-olds. Oh, my 1-year-olds. My God. I love my 1-year-olds, but man, they cry most of the time. I had such the cutest little 1-year-old in the other day. And he was smiling up a storm. And Mom's like, this is how he is. He smiles all the time. And I'm like, great. And then I did what, Alex, you tell me not to do. Are you not even listening? Mom came in with this perfect smiling 1-year-old. And he was like perfectly smiling. And he was amazing. So I did what I'm not supposed to do. I was like, great. Because the last couple babies have been crying. So I'm so glad we have a perfect, happy 1-year-old. And then guess what happened? He started crying. And Mom's like, oh my God, he's never like this. In my defense, we did figure out, because she was convinced that I jinxed it, and she said it for like a half an hour. She, I think, told me 15 times I jinxed it. And I was like, oh my God, Alex would kill me because he would tell me the same thing. So I really felt like I jinxed it. But then we found out he had an allergic reaction to his sweater. She had put on this turtle, like what I'm wearing. And I felt his back, and he was very warm. And I was like, oh my gosh, he is so warm. So I put the air on, and then I put a fan on, and I was like, he's like really upset, right? We're getting him to smile for a second. He's really upset. And I'm like, Mom, he's really warm. Can we get him out of the sweater? Because I got him like smiling like right away. I nailed like the first 5 shots. And then he started bawling. And I was like, okay, well, I have the shots. Can we take this sweater off? Because he's miserable. And then the dad was like, oh my God, look. And he had a rash right where his turtleneck was and all down his back. And then we ended up doing the next 2 sets with him shirtless. And because the second set, he kept doing this. So every picture is him literally clenching his skin. And when I mean clenching, I mean like clenching. So we're like, oh my gosh. And then that's when we realized we think he had an allergic reaction. So by the third set, when it was time for the cake smash, Mom had suspenders and a bow tie, and we just said no shirt. And we figured out that it really wasn't that I jinxed him or that he hated me. That's what it was. But 1-year-old is super challenging because I love 1-year-olds. I love children. But oh my God, they cry all the time. And then you bring out the cake and all they do is cry. 2-year-olds, they don't listen to anything you say. You could tell them anything. They really don't care and they're not going to listen to you. So any picture you get from a 2-year-old is because God loves you. That's it. Because 2-year-olds aren't going to listen to you. 3 is my favorite age. Hands down my favorite age.
Okay, I'm not sure who said this because it won't show me the name, but how much exactly do you miss me and our F-Stop band? Do you know who this is?
And our F-Stop band. Oh my gosh, has to be one of my friends in the UK. What time is it in the UK right now?
I think they're like 8 hours ahead. So, be 3 right now. So it'd be like 11 maybe?
Wait, why am I F-Stop band? Did she say I'm F-Stop band?
Yeah, that's what she's calling it. Do
Oh.
you miss me and our F-Stop band?
Oh, F-Stop band, not band.
No, band. B-A-N-D.
Yes, I thought
band.
it was B-A-N-N-E-D.
All right.
Okay, F-Stop band can only be, I know who this is, and she's in the UK, and I miss you so much. I miss your faces, all of you, and I miss our F-Stop band. They're over in the UK. I think, are you guys still in lockdown? But wait, what time is it? So it's is it midnight?
I think it's close to midnight.
Are you supposed to be in bed right now? But yes, I miss you guys.
I think they're
very
8 hours
much.
ahead.
She makes me. I don't know if she wants me to say her name, but I know who it has to be. It has to be another A name, right? But then
Maybe
the other
because
members of
I'm
the
just
band.
using the chat app.
Then if I say it's her, then the other members of
Well, I
the
mean,
band.
it shows their name on Facebook.
Oh,
so
it
it'll,
does.
Yeah,
Does it
so they'll be
begin
able
with
to
an
see.
A?
I can't see it in the app that I'm using.
Okay.
That
Because if it doesn't, then the other members of our band, and people will be like, "You're in a band?" Oh yeah, I'm in a band. No, I was in the UK and I met a fabulous group of ladies, and they asked me if I wanted to be in their band. I'm like, yeah, I've never been in a girl band before. Then we took a photo of our band as well. There's one on Facebook. So yeah, I miss you, ladies across the pond, very much. And I cannot wait until the international borders open. Some of my best friends are international, so I miss all of you guys. Oh, it is. Annie says yes. It's Amy. Oh, I was right. I was like, does she have an A name? Thank you, Annie. Yes, Amy. I didn't know if you wanted me to say your name, but I was like, only Amy would say the band. She's the only one I know that would say the F-Stop band. And we fight over Lauren, who should be my other wife. We fight over Lauren all the time because she says that she's Lauren's first wife. When I think I should be the favorite wife of Lauren. Lauren owns lspactions.com, and she's brilliant. She's probably the smartest woman I've ever met in my entire life. And so we fight over her all the time because we both love her madly. But Amy knew her longer, so you can have first wife rights. Okay, we're moving on.
Is the Baby Academy open to anyone currently?
Yeah. Wait, the certification or the in-person academy?
Just says Baby
Because if
Academy.
they're asking that, are they talking about the certification? Because there's confusion. So the Baby Academy is in-person 4-day intensive workshop. Anybody can go. It's in New York and California. I just finished one in Florida. The certification, which is the.babyacademy.com, someone could post a link. I have a new certification program that's open where I have developed it, and right now it's only available to those that I've trained. It's not a bad thing. It's just me trying to protect the certification process. I don't want to just throw a certification program out there and be like, anyone with a camera, take a certification program and you're certified. I can't put my name on that. I don't know who they are. So if I've trained you, I can say I'm in your space. I've trained you. I've seen who you are. I can do a certification program and I can stand behind it. I didn't want to create a certification program just to do it. So that's why. So if they're talking about the certification program, it's open to anyone that has taken in-person training. The actual Baby Academy workshop, anyone can take it. It's at workshops@annabrandt.com. All right,
Okay.
are we almost done? Because I'm
Yeah,
going
actually,
to
we're
go
almost
to the
done.
bathroom.
Hello there.
Hi.
Hope everything is going well. As a newborn photographer, I have trouble managing the financial side. How the wording's a little weird. How to make my offers? I guess how should I? I don't know.
Okay, must be international. How to make your offers? I'm guessing your pricing. The financial side sucks. I went to school for accounting. My dad's an accountant. Ugh, it's brutal. It's exhausting, is what it is. I mean, I could spend a whole thing on pricing. I mean, pricing is about cost of doing business and what does it cost you to pick up your camera? Whether you're in studio, whether you're renting a studio, whether it's a home studio, whatever it is, there has to be a cost of doing business. And I equate it to as if I was going to hire you. This is what I do to my students all the time. I'll say, okay, Amy, since you're listening, I'm going to hire you for a job. What are going to be the 2 questions you're going to ask me? What 2 questions would you ask me if I was going to hire you for a job? What are the 2 things you want to know?
How much?
How much?
When do I start?
Well, no. Close. How much?
What are the responsibilities? I don't know.
Close. What are the hours you're going to work?
Oh,
hours and
yeah.
responsibilities, right? What are the hours, responsibilities? What am I doing? How many hours am I working? And what am I getting paid? And if I gave you the number that most of you are paying yourself, you would not take the job. Right? Think about that. Really think about that. Because the reason I say that is because if you're interviewing for a job, you have an idea in your mind of what you need to make, correct? You're going to think in your mind, I've got to pay for a train, I've got to pay for a car, I've got to pay for gas, I've got to pay for the babysitter, I've got to get clothes on, I can't just be in my sweats, maybe put some makeup on, maybe get my hair done, might require a salon visit once a month, might requiring a shower, I have to buy some shampoo and conditioner. You know what I mean? Like there are things you need to do to take a job. So if I'm interviewing you, in your mind, without you even maybe really understanding it, you have a number that you need to live, correct? There's not a person on this planet that cannot say correct. You do. Whether you know it or whether you acknowledge it or not is 2 different things. So if you're coming for a job for me and I tell you this number and it's like $2 and you need to make $10 an hour, you may or may not take the job. You may go, okay, I'm making nothing. I'll probably still be on welfare, but I'm going to learn a lot. So I'll take it for a certain period of time and then I'll quit. Or you may say, because people have done that before, like let's say in medical, you're interning or you're getting a job for minimum wage, or, I remember waitressing in college, just making minimum wage and tips as a bonus, right? So, but if you can't afford to work for me, you're going to turn down the job. You're going to go, I just can't do it. And if you're supporting a family, that's going to even become more prevalent. What I wish the newborn industry would do as a whole is understand your value and what is required to do your job. And it's not about how you feel in the morning, and it's not about what you think of yourself, and it's not about your past, and it's not about what your family thinks of you. It's not about any of that. At the end of the day, it's a job. It's a job. It's a job. And you need to get paid. It's just that simple. And you working 24/7, ignoring your family, turning your back to your family, reheating the same food from 3 days ago for your kids, and secretly hating yourself because you're not in shape and you're not working out and you're not healthy and you're not making any money is not going to do anybody any good. You've got to live a life with purpose and intention. You have to live a life that you feel comfortable with getting up every single day. Is it going to be easy? No. Having a family is not easy. There's nothing easy about having a family. Having children is not easy. Being married is not easy. None of these things are easy. But you have to make a choice every single day of what is it that you want? What is it that you want? I want work that I can create and that I can get paid for, right? I want my children to see that their mother is capable of doing exactly what she says she's going to do. And that's on all fronts. If I say I'm going to do your laundry tonight, it doesn't mean how stupid tired I am. I'm going to do your laundry tonight. And so you've got to keep your word, but you've got to live a life that you can afford to live. And so the pricing comes up every single live I do, every Q&A, every workshop I do. It's the number one question, whether you're really high, whether you're low, what is there's no, I wish we could just pop a magic bubble and down would come all the, perfect, this is what you should pay your newborn photographer. I wish Forbes would come out with a chart, but there's not. So you got to figure it out along the way. All right, we'll just take one or two more questions and then we'll wrap it up.
There's only like 2 more.
Okay, perfect.
So let's get them through before more people ask.
Perfect.
What would you recommend to get a family of more than 5 in focus? I struggle with getting everyone in focus.
So family of 5, I'm going to be at least 4.5 aperture. There was like this thing I heard a while ago, like your aperture should be equal to the number of people in the room. But people could debate that or negate that depending upon the lens you're using and the aperture you're using and all that other stuff. For me, if I'm doing a family, I'm going to be at least a 4.5, at least, so I don't have to worry about it. There are people that are going to say, oh, I got a family of 5 all huddled together and shot at 2.8 and it was perfectly sharp. I'm sure they did, and it can be done. But to you, if you're having challenges, then keep your aperture at least the number of people in the room and you shouldn't have a problem.
Yeah, and then also just have them in a straight line so that they're all in the same focal plane.
Same plane, yes. What that means, do you know what that means? Because not everyone knows what the same focal plane means. Like the same, like you're...
It's going to be hard to describe, I
like
think.
an invisible rope. Okay, you're in school and everyone has to hold the same rope when you're going to the library that's 3 blocks down? Everyone holding the same rope would be on the same plane, right? If someone is far back and someone's in front, you're not on the same plane, and this person's probably going to be out of focus, or this person may be, depending upon where your focus point is going. So keep them all in the same line, invisible line.
I lost where it was.
Almost done. 2 hours, you guys. I thought this was going to be 20 minutes.
Will you ever be bringing the Baby Academy to Seattle?
No.
I think you're not
the Baby
anymore.
Academy, no. Here's the thing. Someone asked me earlier if I would do international. No. It's a 4-day intense, I don't think you understand. It's like you're in school. It's 4 days. And you have homework every night. Ask any of the Academy students. It is so intense. They were barely standing by the 3rd day. There is not an Academy student that won't tell you it wasn't intense. It is 4 very intense days. It is very challenging to do outside of my studio. I had a fantastic studio in Florida, and we have 2 in New York. And after the 2 in New York, I'm not going to travel doing them again. I'll only do them in my space because it's 4 days, and it's a lot. So imagine 4 days. We have at least 1 to 2 babies a day. So we shoot anywhere from 4 to 8 babies. We feed everyone, all of the things that are involved. It's like 4 days. It's 4 days. So no. It's not going to be a traveling road show. It's too intense. It's a lot of work. It needs a lot of staff, a lot of time. It's one of the most intense things I've ever done. When I did it in Florida, my daughter and her friend came with me, and we went out to dinner the first night because I promised them dinner and I barely made it through dinner. And then the second night I was like, can I please just go to the hotel and go to bed because I was so stupid tired. My daughter was like, yeah, it's okay. But I was just, it's too much. Sorry.
But you can come to California where we'll probably still have them.
Yeah, come to California because then you can be in my space. And there's super cheap flights right now. Buy your flights now for like the next 2 years.
Are we having academies right? Oh,
yeah, I think I have 1 at least in the books, and I'll do 2 more this year.
Yeah.
And like the airfare right now is so cheap. Like my Florida was like $200. That's why I brought my daughter and her friend. For the 3 of us round trip, I paid $450. I mean, that's like the cheapest it's ever been ever. So, I mean, buy your airfare now for like the next 2 years.
Okay, that is pretty much it, I believe.
It's 2 hours.
I don't think you answered about, I don't think you give away this answer about where you order albums and canvas from, right?
Yeah, I don't usually post my resources online, but you can go to the members site and they'll tell you. So, although I am working with Enphoto to do my albums, and I have an Enphoto website that they gave me that I'm sharing. So yeah, check out Enphoto. 'Cause they're gorgeous, and I'm doing a free training for them next Friday online. I posted on my Instagram and on my Facebook page and on my LinkedIn, I think. I'll put on my website. So thank you. I didn't expect to spend 2 hours. I seriously thought it was going to be 20 minutes this time.
Yeah, and someone says they ordered the ebook, didn't get the download. I think probably check your spam. Might have gone to your spam.
Yeah, or just email me again. I mean, if you ordered my ebook and you did not get the link, just send me an email and I'll resend it. Check your spam, check your junk, because things go to Never Never Land. But yeah, it's fine. We can usually, for everyone that said that, when I log in to resend them the link, it'll tell me downloaded once, downloaded twice, or never downloaded. Every single person that said that has, with the exception of one or two, had already downloaded it but lost it. I think they saw it once on their phone and then it vanished. But I can just log in and get your account. Just email me, Anna at Anna Brandt. That one I'd email Anna at AnnaBrandtOnline.com, just because that filters all my educational stuff and it's easier to see. AnnaBrandt.com is a plethora of I don't even know what. But for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, you can go to thecreativenewborn.com. I did publish a book on maternity and newborn. The newborn, Alex and I spent 7 hours on a Saturday night recording the audio. And he spent, how many hours did you spend after that cutting the audio?
Oh, it's like a whole day.
A whole day. And what's the final audio footage? 2-3 hours?
I think it was just under 3, maybe.
Under 3 hours. So you could listen to the audiobook, put it on your phone, listen to it while you're driving. It's over 200 pages that I wrote. There's a bug in here, thecreativenewborn.com. And if you bought it and you don't have the links, I'll resend it to you. The paper version is literally on a truck in my neighborhood somewhere, wherever it is. It should be here any second. And yeah, thanks for listening. We'll be back in 2 weeks with the next Ask Me Anything. Feel free to send in your questions. I try to answer them as honest as I can. Why do I do it? Just because there's so many questions out there that everybody wants answers for, and it's impossible for me to keep up with all the DMs and the instant messages and the questions from around the world. So I just do my part. Alex and I spend a little bit of our time each month to try to help you out and answer the questions. At the end of the day, you just want to be a little bit better than yesterday. I hope you have a good week.
Thank you, everyone, for joining this 20-minute stream. We'll see you next week.